Hi, I'm Michael Bush, and welcome to my presentation on paying student athletes. Have you ever wondered about the amount of money that is made off of college sporting events? Would it surprise you to know that in collegiate sports, there's a multi-billion-dollar industry that continues to grow each year? What happens with all of this money? Who decides where it goes towards? What's going on in our schools has become part of the most out-of-whack business scheme in America today. The NCAA is profiting off student athletes, and it's about time those athletes saw a cut from billions of dollars generated in this flawed system. The NCAA has been opposed to sharing its revenue with players for more than 100 years. The players are the ones who generate the desirable income that the college systems are seeking, and without them, there is no income from sporting events. Most of the money is being spent on the coaches and athletic directors in charge of these institutions. Collegiate athletes need to have a say in where this money goes. Based on the progress made by those who are fighting for this cause, we may be headed in that direction. How much money should a player be making? That still hasn't been decided yet, but according to Derek Thompson, that number has to be more than zero. I would like to share with you my case for why student athletes deserve to be compensated by their schools for participation at the NCAA level. Transition. Let us begin by looking into the various myths as to why student athletes are not currently compensated. There are a number of myths that seem to be preventing colleges from paying their players. Andy Schwartz of ESPN.com aids us with his article on these various myths and how they impact college athletes. It's too hard to figure out how to pay these players fairly. Stop it. Just pay the players. Come up with a fair system to reward players who play often and set a minimum for those who see little to no playing time. The level of pay will vary, but there must be a justifiable and fair system for the entire NCAA. But what if pay ruins the competitive balance of college sports? I'm sorry, the last time I checked, Alabama continues to roll in prospects in hopes of winning national titles in football. They've blown out both their opponents in the past 2 years, and if anything, payment of players might defer players to attend schools where they might receive more playing time and thus help the competitive balance of the league. Athletes are looking for the best situation for themselves and their families, and will continue this due process for decades to come. How do schools expect to pay their players and compete for them on a daily basis, keep their grades up, and find a way to make extra money for food and clothing? The school maintains that athletes must keep their grades up, but how can they when so much time is spent finding ways to pay for their daily living expenses? Scholarships help to cover the cost of housing and tuition, but what about those who don't receive scholarships? Athletes need a reliable system that can ensure that while they're attending school, they're taken care of and are able to focus on both academics and athletics. Many who find themselves in this situation resort to taking money from boosters. Boosters pay high school athletes to commit and attend the school they are trying to promote. As stated by Travis Clay of Outkick the Coverage, Johnny Manziel has found a way to extort the no-pay-for-play rule of the NCAA. According to the court documents, Manziel is able to settle out of court for hundreds of thousands of dollars in the case of copyright infringement on his nickname, Johnny Football. The loophole has caused an uproar of bad media surrounding boosters in the NCAA, a type of negative attention that colleges have tried to avoid with their athletic programs. So I plead to you, reconsider your stance on if student athletes should be paid to play at the collegiate level. The amount of money being pocketed by universities has grown exponentially, and we must reward the athletes who put their bodies on the line to produce that money for our schools. The payment of student athletes should be a critical win for those who put their health on the line for the benefit of our entertainment. Please help spread the word. Thank you.